You know what, folks? This is an old school video since we're playing Shogun 2, so let's do an old school intro just for fun. What the crap's going on, YouTube? Heir of Carthage here, and welcome back to Total War Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, where we are going to continue the building of the Satsuma Republic and trying to flip Japan over into Republic. So, yes, welcome back, and on the last episode, we were doing a lot of turtling, basically getting ready for a giant war, and we're probably going to be doing some of the same. Just kind of depends on what fate presents us here. But yeah, we'll be doing roughly the same. If we go and take a look, for instance, at clan management, we're very near the level of fame required to tip off basically the ultimate final war here. And right now we are allied with the Tosa and the Choshu, though they would likely turn against us. Not a guarantee, but likely. So I don't remember exactly how the realm divide type mechanic works here. Wow, that is a whole lot of traditional rebels. Of course, there's a lot of Choshu troops there too. So as you remember, we are basically constantly harassing the Choshu and stealing land off them, even though they're an ally, especially where it benefits me. But like, for instance, the Choshu right here, I'd really love to get a hold of this settlement so I can take the end of that rail line. Which would give me excellent positioning. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to move this agent over here and try and get a hold of that rail line. I may just try and cause a rebellion for a turn here, or just... No, we're not going to waste our time here because there's forces nearby. The Choshu continue to operate a massive bunch of armed forces, a lot of which is crappy levy, and that's not to be real surprising because the AI does that type of stuff. Like, they kind of stick with the same crappy units over and over again. Let's see, I don't have the money to build the dry dock there. It would be good to have a dry dock back there. I believe we just built one. Yep, so we have a dry dock up here. We've got some other buildings finishing up. Let's maybe save just a little bit of money and kind of continue where we left off last time. I think we had some buildings going, some agent work, some research. Let's remind ourselves where we're at on research. I was going towards Gatling Towers. That makes a lot of sense because as we fight defensive battles in a larger war, Gatling Towers will be an extremely effective way of whittling down enemy troops as they attack us when we have an inferior garrison, but you're trying to hold. So improving castles, building the Gatling Towers, getting our navy ready to go. You're definitely going to want navies. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Mike H. says, love the historic campaigns. They're more my thing than Warhammer. Never played Shogun, so it's great to see someone showing it off in all its glory. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Mike. Appreciate you watching it. And some people are that way. You know, they like the historical games better. My channel started on these historical games, and it is also just fun to kind of have a blast from the past on these. So I like playing them as well. However, that said, Warhammer is better for me, but I also understand that that's not the case for everybody, which again, another reason why I love taking some time to come back and play these. It's fun for old time's sake, and then it's also hopefully fun for a bunch of you out there who just enjoy this type of thing better. Our incitement failed there. We might be just short of the amount of money to build the dry dock now down here. Nope, we have it. By 20. Yeah, it was pretty tight. All right, let's go ahead and start building the dry dock back at Satsuma. And let's end our turn again. So again, just using this opportunity and some cash to put some key infrastructure onto the map here.
Consider my words with care.
Now, this would draw us into a war. But it'd probably be fine, and we pick up a trade agreement with the Tosa. I think I was trying to get into this war earlier, and they wouldn't let me. Let's accept that offer. Oof, man, the Choshu have troops all over the place. If they suddenly turn against me, which they should, I mean, I've been a complete backstabbing loser of an ally. I mean, they should definitely turn on me. Then that would, you know, be appropriate, honestly. Francesco Lagoya says, thank you for bringing the series back. I almost feel sorry for the rebels facing that shrapnel shot from the Armstrong gun, but not really very satisfying. And he's got some Skaven yes emojis going on there. Thank you. Francesco, appreciate you being a channel supporter. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, the Armstrong guns are absolutely brutal, and I am here for every minute of it. They're awesome. They are just one of the more powerful units in this expansion. Now we're having a little bit of a trouble getting some revolts started the last couple turns. That's okay, though. We've had a lot of success prior. We'll get there eventually. So, whoops, accidentally hit the turn-in button rather than the button I was aiming for there. My bad. But let's get another comment while we're waiting. Mustafa Ahmed says, we need sarcastic storytelling like the Archaon campaign in every campaign. I guess I gotta up my game. I don't know how I did it back then. Maybe I just need to get back into the ritual of it, you know? I'll try and start a campaign soon where we try and do some of that. We had a lot of fun with it. I guess I just need to get my brain in the right place. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a good campaign. Good campaign for sure. Let's see here. So we went to war to help the Choshu, and this is one of the factions we are at war with. They have Awaji. And we could try to take Awaji. Might be difficult to defend, but it's also like an interesting point to hold. Let's see. Let's first try a little bit of revolt. There we go. Finally got a good revolt going. There we go. 2 good revolts. Alright, so we were on a bit of a dry spell, but then we solved that. One of our Ishin Shishi just picked up a rank. Let's take care of that before we forget. Instilling Fervor. We need this one down here. I could technically hold on to these skill points and use them here rather than here. But this isn't bad right here either, so let's use it. I don't think it's going to be bad fit. Just about clicked the wrong button there again. Alright, so we're 2 turns away from Matchlock Towers. It's interesting that's Matchlock Towers instead of like just rifle towers. Like it goes from archery towers to Matchlock Towers straight to Gatling guns. Like it feels like maybe they should replace the Matchlock there with just guns. And then into the Gatling guns, because that's quite the leap, in my opinion at least. The Choshu are sitting right outside my settlement. We're about to have an improved castle here though too. And speaking of improved castles, we should be working on those where possible. So I need to start building some castles. And we'll do that on the next few turns. Our income's down a little on this turn. There was some raiding of a port here with the Choshu. Yeah, so that's possibly what's driving our income down some too. The Choshu have a large number of forces in the vicinity. We are not at war with that faction either. We have a single frigate here, and I'd like to re-recruit that frigate with the armored hull plating, and I think I will. It does make a pretty big difference in terms of making your ship less flammable and being able to take a little more punishment potentially before it just straight up explodes. You get a lot of ship explosions in this game. Let's grab another comment here. Johanna Carlson says, of course, you watch the campaign to the end, always waiting for your new uploads on every campaign. Keep the good work going. Well, thank you so much. That's very kind. And, you know, I don't expect everybody to watch every campaign to the end, but I know some of you do every time. And that is quite the kind gesture. I appreciate it. Wow, we are just still dropping income. We have dropped almost 2,000 income on the last couple of turns. Not exactly sure why, to be honest. I mean, like, this trade route is explainable right here. We're getting 0 gold out of it right now. We're getting 0 gold out of this one as well. So why are we picking up 0 with the... Where's this one disrupted? Trade route looks clear all the way through. That get damaged. Okay, yeah, the building got damaged. Okay. So we're probably losing our income here and here. Which makes me think, I mean, if the Aizu are at war with the Choshu, does it really hurt me to be at war with the Aizu? And the answer is most likely no. Let's see, I've got a Kasuga Corvette, a Chiton, and a gunboat. Not overly powerful, but capable. Look at the Saga here. They may be moving against Choshu. I think they have been at war with the Choshu this whole time. No, they're allied with the Choshu. Okay, so the Saga allied. There's potential trade routes out here too.
My friend, I'm ready to listen to your every...
Alright, let's get some trade routes open. Try and make up some of this income. That was the only one that looks like a easy go get. Helps a little, not a lot, but we did pick up some of what was lost there. Choshu camping on our borders constantly. Yeah, I deserve whatever ill treatment that they are planning on giving me, to be fair. I think I'm going to open up some of these cottage industry, and then we've got commercial farming. Let's do cottage industry, and then build up this mahjong parlor. We've already got a fortress here. It'd be good to get to the castle. It's like you can never have... I mean, the buildings in this game are expensive. It takes a lot to build up your infrastructure. Once you get it, I mean, it's a huge payoff, but it is expensive. That's why sometimes I sit here and do some of this turtling. Because if you just fight war to war, you'll never have the money to build up any of the buildings or infrastructure that you've got. So the Tosa continue to be raided, and I'm seeing other ports that look like they're potentially being raided, so we should expect our income to be a little lower for the next few turns, unless we just get lucky. It went back up some there. We did finish our research, which has improved defenses, and now we're going to be working on Gatling Towers. Richard Taylor says, really enjoy the campaign. Thanks for continuing the series. Well, thanks, Richard. Glad you're enjoying it. I do apologize, videos have been sparse the last couple of weeks. Work has just been quite busy, so like whenever I am at work, I've got a lot of work to do, and it has been like a little bit in the office, a little bit out of the office. Like it's kind of back and forth at the moment. I'm gonna just end the turn and pick up some more money. Thinking about going up here and knocking the Aizu off this port. I mean, what do we care if we're at war with the Aizu anyway? Yeah, I'm gonna sail up and knock the Aizu off that port. I'm tired of them eating up my income. So let's go ahead and end this turn. But yeah, work's been busy. We're also having the house painted. We have to get the floor replaced in the house soon, like our carpet and some of our other flooring is quite old and worn out. And so it's got to get replaced. This has been stuff that's a long time coming, and now is the time. Of course, that has left me very busy, to say the least, because I have to help keep track of that outside of work. It's also been good weather. This is the time of year when it's really good for me to get out and try and fish whenever we have good weather. I say it's been good weather. This is the time of year where it should be good weather, but it's been unusually rainy and stormy and cool, and so of course sometimes I'm trying to get out and take advantage of what few days, it is good weather, so that I'm able to... So there's rebels there and there. Our rebellion did not work here. However, this army looks like they are at war with the Choshu. So anyway, yeah, it's busy, folks. It's just very busy. Yeah, they're at war with both of these green factions. Not the Sunpu, though. A totally different faction. They are enemies with the Choshu. Yeah, so they are. Okay. Oh, that's me that I'm looking at. So I'm against the Fukuyama and the Marugame, or however you pronounce it, and then the Sunpu are also at war with the Choshu, so we should probably just be at war with them as well. But we should let them take Harima, and this would be a great excuse for me to join the war against the Sunpu, and then take them out, helping my ally. So let's see. Now we've actually got a little bit of cash on hand. Let's do some further improvements. Got the castle here, and we could improve all the way to a citadel at Bizen. But rather than that, let's just see that some of these settlements even get a castle done here. Cheaper construction there. Might be silver plant, I don't know. Aki. There's definitely plenty of buildings we can build, but let's save some money each turn, and let's attempt to continue to build our fortresses up. It adds repression to the province, which is always good. Got one province not being taxed here. And they probably still don't want to be taxed. They do not. Bizen is not pleased. How much tax are we talking about? A pretty fair amount. So I'd like to get these people properly subjugated. We have a really nice mahjong parlor there, and we're about to be able to open up another build. I could put another building there that improves happiness a little bit. Just to see how that plays out. So, yeah, good shape. Frigate being built. Could improve the blacksmith. We put in a blacksmith here. I actually feel like we should tear that down. Oh, I think we have to build the ironworks and then the gunsmith? Ironworks, yeah, and then we can pick either the gunsmith or the armor. Okay, yeah, never mind. We're good. So no need to tear anything down. Let's just burn another turn, get some more income. Richard Taylor says, really enjoy the campaign. Thanks for... Or, sorry, I already read that one, Richard. Hey, you got read twice by my mistake. Pablo says, looking forward to modernized army marching out of Bizen once those buildings are done. Love the series. I find myself watching the historical ones to the end much more than the Warhammer ones. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Enjoying the series. Hey, you watch whichever one as much as you want, right? Not going to offend me either way. I'm just glad you're enjoying it. Our development level increased. Now winter. Our income popped back up a little bit. This port over here is still blockaded by the Aizu. Surprised that Choshu is letting that go on for that long. Somehow Harima survived the Sunpu having that huge army there. I don't really know how that happened, to be fair. Wow, we failed to incite a revolt that was extremely likely there. Failed both accounts. Alright, well, let's find another castle that needs building. There we go. And back to Bizen. We have another building slot open now, and the police station would certainly make people happier. I don't remember what happens to those buildings after we hit the divide and we pick Republic, but we'll find out. It may change the building and change the agent if I remember right, but it has been a long time. Oh look, you actually have to build the matchlock towers. I forgot about that. Upgrades castle defenses to matchlock towers. Well, we might as well build these. I hate that you have to waste a building slot with that. That's really frustrating. But in a few spots it would be good, so let's just go ahead and build it. And we could always potentially use some agents to help calm things down here too. Let's end our turn. Let our army continue its march towards Bizen. Let's see. Whoops, I accidentally clicked out of the game there, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Alright, Thomas says, always happy to see another upload from the series. I think you should move your army in the south, closer to the border of your ally. They have a major buildup of forces that could sweep. Yeah, they could. Just lost trade with the Takayama. Geisha increases in rank. Check out our Geisha here. He is pretty much top tier. Go up to the 6 stars, so entertaining nobles we want. And we can get this one without spending the skill point, but we'll have a skill point on the next one anyway, so just go ahead and upgrade her there. And then it says we have a potential unrest situation in Mimasaka, which is where our army had been parked. It's no longer parked there. I think what we'll do is I will move this army into Bizen. This settlement has been quite unhappy the last few turns, but now it will be fine. So with our army parked here, let's go ahead and make them pay their due taxes, and then let's go to Mimasaka and exempt them from taxes. That'll kind of balance each other off a little bit, probably. I mean, there's an iron mine there. The commercial farming here.
What do you wish of me?
Try our revolt again. There we go, revolt incited. Poor Choshu gets stuck with me as an ally. Assignment failed again. Okay. So I think this is the army you're talking about moving further north. We could, potentially. I think he's worried about us getting swept by the Choshu here. We take a look at Higo. should build up Higo. We built castle defenses, but we should build it up and then build matchlock towers there. Let's spend a little bit of a cash expanding Higo. And if we put get ready to put Gatling Towers at Bungo and Higo, that will kind of shore up our positions and help us be able to fight off larger armies with less. Assuming that the AI doesn't come with artillery, which they very well could. Artillery would make a rather large difference. I decided to revolt there, but then they brought in reinforcements. No big deal. At least it's keeping them busy. Let's get to another comment here. This one's going to be from Cordimus. He says, just glad to see you here, Air. Have a good week. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, look, both these ports are... Oh, I clicked the wrong button again. Good grief, that is picky down there. I thought I was clicking the diplomacy one, and it just went through a turn-in. All right, whatever. I guess I'll have some money to work with. Wow. Yeah, they're back there just bombarding the Choshu and doing all kinds of... Okay, that port just got relieved. It got attacked, so it's probably damaged for now. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to go ahead and declare war on the Aizu.
Speak your insolence, then I will reply.
The Aizu are already at war with the Choshu, so it says call your allies, but I mean, it's not going to make any difference. They're also allied with the Sendai and the Nagaoka, which these are some of the larger remaining shogunate factions anyway, and we're going to end up at war with them regardless. Tosa may not want to join us. We'll see. Yeah. Darn, just broke my agreement. I should have unchecked that so that the Tosa didn't get dragged in. What a mistake. Wow, they've got a frigate. And a Kasuga corvette. This is dangerous. It's quite dangerous because that frigate is significant. But you know what? If we lose, I need to build a navy that has upgraded armor plating and stuff anyway. So let's take our chances. All right, on the naval battlefield here. Got my ships moving forward. Go ahead and take the UI off there. So I've got my gunboat. I believe this is my... Oh, is this? I think it's my frigate. No, it's a Chiton class. Sorry, I've got a Kasuga and a Chiton class. Thinking of a different fleet. So my Chiton and my gunboat are moving forward. I intend to use my gunboat as, you know, like bait for first volley. Unfortunately, or fortunately for me at the moment, I'm trying to kind of single out the Kasuga, focus fire, and then get to the armored frigate. But, I mean, the enemy definitely has superior firepower to me, and if I make a couple of mistakes, then it is definitely going to go in their favor. So I do have explosive shells, which can do a ton of damage. However, the explosive shells have shorter range, which means I still have to move into range to begin with, and start trading shots. You can get really unlucky, you can get exploded quicker than you expect. However, like if I can get in and start trading a lot of explosive shells, I can start fires, I can potentially explode their ship first. So there's going to be a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill that goes into this. However, I would say just odds are the AI is looking to be in pretty good shape right here as they have significantly more firepower than I do. But we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start to steam forward again. You can see I'm trying to come onto range on the edge of this Kasuga first. I've got my gunboat a little further ahead, at least at the moment. We'll see whether I manage to maneuver right. Maneuvering and timing is actually a little tricky. It takes a little practice in Follow the Samurai and naval battles, and it's important because first volleys can be quite devastating and potentially explosive. At this point, though, the frigate is starting to steam forward, and I'm not liking this. The AI is kind of correcting its mistake here, and I honestly wish that they hadn't, which means that they're going to bring a couple of vessels into range. And you can see there they do get the first shot, but again, this is kind of intended on my gunboat. And so they are going to open fire first, and honestly, their frigate is closing position nicely over here, where they're going to be able to bring basically the full force, their fleet to bear. And you can see this positioning here. I think they should have kept sailing here to the right. The AI is going to turn both ships, but unfortunately for me, that'll end up kind of just exposing these two ships and leaving my Chiton out of position.
Sir, your general is in terrible
So,
danger.
and they just switched to explosive shells right there, I believe. So the AI has explosive shells too, which is not good news for me. I just hit them with one, but you can see here they're firing. I don't know if those are explosive shells or not. That frigate just put a beat down onto my Chiton, which is completely out of position. Now, I did get a fire going on the enemy Kasuga, with my gunboat, so this is good news. I've been trying to switch shells, but then it also puts me out of range, and then it takes a while before you can switch shells back. And so right now the AI is in superior position, and I have made some critical mistakes early, leaving my Kasuga under heavy fire, which is also my general at the moment. Small fire on board the enemy Kasuga. My gunboat is continuing to kind of just get some cheap shots off. It's within range. You can see I took a savage beating there from the enemy frigate, and now my chiton is totally out of position, so the AI manages to get the better of me here. They already had an advantage, and I've handed them much larger advantage, so you can see their frigate here really hammering my my admiral.
Your general is in terrible danger.
This ship is in bad shape. They've taken some heavy damage, and they're under heavy fire. And we are at high risk of just exploding kind of at any moment here. I'm trying to get in range and get a shot of explosive shells off, but I just continue to get absolutely hammered by enemy fire here. You can see that I've managed to increase the amount of fire on the Kasuga, so the Kasuga does have a fire going, and I just started a fire on the enemy ship, and I got one last volley off there. But my Kasuga is split amidships and is now going to be sinking, so that is not good for me. My only hope here is that there's a bit of a fire on these two boats. I could just kind of try and stay out of range with my other boats, but I go ahead and attempt to try and get in range behind the enemy corvette here, or sorry, frigate, and get some shots with my corvette. And I do manage to land some shots on the keel of the enemy frigate here, which does a little bit of damage. Now my gunboat is singled out against a Kasuga corvette, and although there's a fire going, which is good for me, I'm also now getting hit by the frigate, so my poor little gunboat, these souls are running an absolute gauntlet there, and they get exploded for their trouble. So another ship split amidships there and sinking, so I am in very bad shape at the moment. And now the frigate has positioning on me. I was having to chase it to try and get better position, and it turned and opened fire on me, and I'm in really bad shape now. I'm going to have to switch shell types back to standard shells. I've really got no advantage at all. We are under heavy fire. See how quickly that frigate is putting volleys on me. I'm going to open up here now too, but very little hope left for my navy, so I believe the Aizu are going to get away with a clean victory here. But, yep, there it is. As I mentioned, I needed a new navy, so this was just a very cruel way for me to go to this fleet. They're like, Air, you know, you could have scuppered and just built new ships. Well, I went and got all my ships exploded, as you all see there. Bad positioning, many mistakes were made. My admiral thanks me for his sacrifice to the no purpose there. Anyway, I said that it didn't really matter if we lose this fleet. I would have liked to have done better, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, capturing that frigate may have been cool, too. But, again, we want to get one of the iron ones, so not a big deal. And get to our next comment here. It's going to be from Alric. Says, thanks for the upload, Air. Don't worry about the schedule. Be here to watch whenever you have and whenever you can upload. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Because, yeah, things get crazy. Quite often, in fact. So, appreciate you being so supportive and flexible there with your support. All right, so we can build an armored frigate. There are torpedo boats, but we don't have the tech for them. I would love to have a torpedo boat. Torpedo boats are super fun. Armored corvettes. Kasuga. Okay, the Kotetsu Ironclad and armored frigates are going to be very powerful, but the Kotetsu Ironclad can snipe from extremely long range. If you look at the cannon range there, 1,000 cannon range, over 750. The front gun on the Kotetsu has very nice range. When it gets up close, it can use a Gatling gun too, if I remember right. Though I could be wrong. It's a fun boat to use regardless. It's going to take several turns to recruit. We definitely want it. And then I'm going to grab an armored frigate. And then I'm still going to stick to having a gunboat, or maybe even a chiton class. It's a little bit heavier. Just to absorb fire, right? If you need something to kind of get out and tank a little fire. But the AI is not too crazy stupid there. Let's see, maybe the Kasuga Corvette is considerably better, but it's also quite a bit more expensive. Costs only a little bit more upkeep. It just takes more time to construct. I'm going to go ahead and construct one because we're already committed to like 3 or 4 times of or turns of construction. And it would be good to have this be an armored frigate as well. Let's take a look at our recruitment here with the Navy. I cannot afford an armored frigate or a Kotetsu Ironclad here on this turn. We are just short of the funding needed. So, we might hold off there. Have more wars going on now too. So we'll kind of just, let's play it by ear and see what happens here on this turn in. Not a lot of battles, because as expected, I'm still doing a lot of preparation. I mean, if I go take another settlement or two, it's probably going to kick off the realm divide. And, you know, it may not be the end of the world to just let it happen. But I'm just saying that not a lot of battles at the moment. And hopefully that doesn't bother you all too bad. This is, in my opinion, just a way I like to play. If you don't like playing this way, then I apologize. You have to watch it. But this is certainly the way that I prefer to play, which is getting well prepared and just really out-teching our opponents. We got 1 turn to Gatling Towers. We could do the torpedo upgrade as well, because I really do like torpedo boats. Gatling gun research, Imperial, yeah, the Army War College would be nice because it's going to have the best troops that we could get out of it, so we'll continue to try and work our way there. Our new Navy is being constructed at Satsuma, and it ought to be quite powerful, even though it's a small force. We finished our matchlock towers here, and let's see, I should probably look at Higo. Higo could use the Citadel upgrade, no doubt. Bungo has a castle to Citadel as well. Let's go ahead and build up the large town at Bungo as well. And we'll kind of create like a little bit of a fortress line right here in terms of having better defenses. It'd be good to have matchlock towers pretty much everywhere we can afford them. Zhang Parlor here with some of our money. Same thing here. Just go ahead and put a couple of those. It'll give us a little bit of extra cash. Go through and roll through another turn here. Get to the next comment. We've got Lebext here who says, looking forward to you fully modernizing your troops. I hope you ditch the melee as well eventually. You know what I was going to do with the melee, actually, was I was going to disperse them for, like, just keeping happiness. It's certain settlements where it's needed. But yes, I do want to get rid of them and just pretty much go full modernized. I think that's what I'm working my way towards ultimately and hopefully. How upset is Mimasaka these days? A lot less so. You go ahead and start taxing them unless they act like they want to rebel again, which they might. Let's see. Got our matchlock towers. Mimasaka would probably be another good settlement to make sure is well defended. I haven't used my agents to incite revolts the last few turns. That's okay. The Choshu looks like they mostly retook control. Some other I'm going to actually go ahead and start moving this agent while we have time. I'm going to start moving him down here, where he could be potentially useful against the Choshu as well. So let's do that. Navy is still underway. We're pretty much out of cash this turn. Our income popped up. And it's still just sitting in Bizen. I mean, we could send this army over there to Awaji on our frigate. Could be risky, you know, if they have a better navy, so it might not hurt to do a little scouting with this frigate. If we lose it, you know, it wouldn't be great, but be better than nothing. Yeah. So I'm at peace with the Sunpu. I'm not at war with them, so we don't have to worry about that fleet. This agent here, I don't recognize that agent. So Awaji does not have a navy to defend it, so we could drop an army there and try and take the island. So let's look into that. Although, like I said, that might be just enough to kick off the major war a little before we're ready. That comes with its own... Oh, I forgot to switch the tech that we were researching. Let me change that real quick. Wanted to do the torpedo piece. This one here enables gun batteries and star forts, which is really cool too. But yeah, we'll stick with matchlock towers for now. And speaking of matchlock towers, we can build them once we have, or sorry, Gatling Towers. We can build them once we have the money for it. Let's see, a steel mill gives, so they both give the same amount to trade with. The steel mill increases growth from trade, reduces the cost of artillery, 360 wealth. This one has more wealth, but does not give the it does still give that boost. Doesn't have the boosted growth. That one causes more unhappiness as well, whereas this one doesn't. Iron smelting plant would be good. That's more cash. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the cash here. Come back, and I'm going to take my army at Bizen. Let's look at the recruitment here. It'd be nice to get some saber cavalry. We have revolver cavalry, we just don't have the tech for it yet. There's black bear infantry as well. And if we take a look at the differences between, say, like line infantry, or no, we can get imperial infantry as well. Wow, that's good stuff. Black bears have a little less accuracy and ammunition, and probably less leadership. No, the morale is actually the same between the two units. Melee is the same between the two units, so it's just more accurate, more ammunition. That would ultimately lead to more kills. We have sharpshooters, which would be important. These guys have better range. I think that I'm going to take a couple of these old melee units and maybe walk back up to Mimasaka, at least for now, and then I could leave a couple of these melee units at Bizen just to help garrison settlement. And we definitely want to pick up some additional troops. Like, sharpshooters are good because they can pick off a fight from longer range than standard rifle troops and do some damage. We also have Armstrong guns, which can do the same thing. Now, we have a fair bit of levy infantry, too, that we could spread out to help guard some of these garrisons. And, again, that's probably what we should do. Like, send a couple up north and then leave a couple here. Let's start phasing out that levy infantry. And let's wait a turn to get a little more cash and do some recruiting on that army. Kind of improve that army as we said that we want to. Lone Trooper Wheeler, you amazing soul. How are you doing? Thanks for leaving a comment here. Says, love this channel. Can't wait for some more Empire at War content. That's right. I'm going to be doing some Empire at War videos for Clone Trooper Wheeler. He's been awesome at supporting and donating to the channel, and he wanted to see some Thrawn's Revenge when the update comes out. Clone Trooper, you just let me know when the update is out, and I will get the content started for you. I'm looking forward to it as well. It's a really fun game, and it's going to be a great mod. Very much looking forward to it. This army should probably be improved as well. Once that navy spits out, we're going to start paying quite a bit more upkeep. The Choshu are probably giving me some of my own treatment here. They got an Ishin Shishi back here. Oh, I deserve it. I deserve every last bit of it if they give it to me. It would be nice to have a couple of sharpshooters in this army. It'd still be fairly low numbers, but between the Armstrong guns and... I would keep a couple of melee troops just because they do have their uses. But we could get rid of a couple more of these levy troops. Like I said, leave them as garrisons to help some of these places fight. They've got decent chevronage, you know, they'll be quite a bit stronger. Sunpu have another huge army there. Let's see what we've got. Oh, okay, our fleet is completed. Excellent. Let's move the fleet out and get ready to go redeem myself against the Aizu. They will not get away quite so easily this time, and I look forward to humiliating them. Speaking of splitting up some troops, let's do the same thing here. We've got a little bit of a garrison at Igo and Bungo, so we're actually okay. It's not a great garrison, but it's a garrison. Those ones are closer to the border, though, so let's take a look at this army. I'll go ahead and split out a couple of troops up to Bungo.
As you command.
And then let's split out a couple of troops. I'm going to leave a couple here, and I'm going to split a couple more up to Higo.
Without delay.
So we'll give those places some solid defense. And then let's go to recruitment here. I want to have Saber Cavalry pick up some of my melee, and we'll just start with one. We don't need a ton of melee capability, and I'd like to have a sharpshooter in that army as well. We can recruit another foreign veteran here, too. We should have done that quite a long time ago.
That's not a place for a god.
Okay. Alright, so... look here at this army. Let's do a little... we've got our sharpshooters being recruited here, too. Love to have a Saber Cavalry in this army as well. It's going to take a couple turns, so I may throw in one more sharpshooter. Since we're going to have to wait 3 turns for the Saber Cavalry anyway, so... let's end that one. Not a lot of battles here, like I said, but that's okay. We'll have some. We're going to have some good ones coming up because we have better troops. Ooh, Sun Pu defeated the Choshu once there, but probably not the second time. Nimasaka is now fairly well garrisoned. It's got 3 garrison units, or 4 garrison units, and then 2 that are built in. And that's sitting on top of a castle upgrade. And if we run a town upgrade, I could put improved towers there as well. I've almost got enough money at Bizen to build the Gatling Towers. Here we can go ahead and build matchlock towers. There we go. So improve our defenses as expected. Army. Picked up our sharpshooter. Let's look at recruitment. We're still getting a Saber Cavalry here. Probably wouldn't hurt me to have maybe one more unit of sharpshooters. And then this army, I'll keep... might keep a couple units of levy infantry just for a little extra and to have it be cheaper. We've got a lot of generals there too, and we could spread out some of these generals. So for instance, like, we could take this general here, spread him over to Bungo. And we can spread some of these others out over time as well. Let's supervise recruitment here. And let's see, I got a couple more comments that I'd like to get to. See, Adam says, great stuff. Thank you for this Let's Play. Thinking of trying out the Samurai. Is there a faction you can recommend for a first playthrough? I like Satsuma for a first playthrough. Oh, you're trying out Fall of the Samurai. Yeah, Satsuma is pretty good for a first playthrough. Tosa isn't bad. If you're on the other side of it, like on the Shogun side, I don't know those troops as well up here, like those start positions. I think Satsuma and Tosa are good starting campaigns, Satsuma especially. As long as you rush quickly to pick up some more territory on Kyushu, you should be just fine. Let's see here. Army's busy recruiting still. Yep. Okay. End our turn. And then get to another one. Palm Breeze says, short but sweet. Looking forward to some Imperial Infantry. Yeah, we're getting closer. I'm not having Imperial Infantry yet, but we'll start pulling in sharpshooters. The Elite Line Infantry is fun. I'm not rushing to them, though, because at the moment, like, we're good, but we will definitely get some eventually. Ben Smith says, hooked by this campaign, enjoying it so much. Went back and watched the Saga campaign you did. Well, thanks, Ben. Hope you enjoyed that one, too. Well, that's quite a long time ago, but they're a lot of fun. I don't need any more generals at the moment. I've actually got too many. We can see some of our sons and stuff grew up back here, and just don't need all of that at the moment. So we are busy building matchlock towers there. At Bungo, we can now build matchlock towers as well. And let's see, a gambling den would be good. Keep the happiness up there, give us a little extra cash. Our forces here, almost ready. Let's take a look at our army. So our new and improved army will have several units of superior armored sharpshooters as well as better accuracy, so they can kick off fights. And then I'm going to keep a couple of melee troops, and then I'll do the 4 line infantry, a couple of Armstrong guns, so we should be good in that army. Our superior fleet is nearing its objective. I may go ahead and keep this episode running. It'll be kind of a long one, but I'll keep it running just long enough to get some revenge on the Aizu with my armored fleet. I'm going to show you all how that's going to work. It's going to be a whole lot more fun. See, the Cabbage Preacher says, I think it would be a good idea to build an artillery academy and firing range at Bizen that you can make sure to use the accuracy bonuses from the gunsmith to its full effect. It's not a bad point. I do have the towers at the moment. If we had the right tech, I could improve and put another building in. We could always drop the Mahjong Parlor, but that also is probably going to have a pretty negative impact on happiness in the area. Though, to be fair, we could build a citadel and try to offset it with all that extra repression. So it would be nice. He got a very good point. The artillery school here would play in nicely. However, like, I don't need to recruit any more artillery at the moment, and my Armstrong guns are already pretty awesome. But I mean, that is a good point. You can take double advantage of that stuff, and you probably should be. Let's go ahead and end one more turn. Baron Ortega says, only one small comment. You, sir, are an absolute legend. Thank you. Well, thank you, Baron. You are a legend, too. Appreciate all the support and helping to pick me up there. Nathan says, I wonder if Emperor Palpatine would be pleased with your progress. The Emperor isn't as forgiving as Lord Vader. Oh, man, I love those Star Wars lines. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate you watching. Easy Gaming UK says, can you get Neil Fire? It's double the fire rate. Love seeing them open up with that extra 20% accuracy. OMG, so many hits. Yeah, it is. Neil Fire is quite good. It makes you immobile. But when you're pulling the enemy... Oh, whoops, sorry. When you're pulling the enemy into range and then shooting them, Neil Fire makes total sense. Because, like I said, you're mobile, but if you have the ranged advantage and you're pulling the enemy in, then you want to use it because your back rank can fire as well. And yeah, you end up with some bonuses and buffs and stuff, which are quite nice. This army is ready to go. We got our unit of Saber Cavalry on hand. I think I'm just going to leave the Levy Infantry here. So the Levy Infantry will provide us with a bit of garrison and make Bizen a pretty strong hold here. And these armies aren't like, you know, total huge full strength, but they are quite modern and quite deadly. And with fire support from naval ships and stuff, we should be in pretty good shape. But at the same time, like, it just feels kind of sad seeing it be this small. So maybe we should recruit like just a little bit more. Oh, we could do recruiting out here. Oh, I didn't bring the general. Whoops. I was like, I thought we could recruit out here. You can if you bring a general air. Let's see. So a couple of Black Bear infantry would round things out nicely. We could do the Imperial infantry. The upkeep is fairly minimal. But the Black Bears are pretty iconic as well. They're quite a bit less from a recruitment standpoint. Let's grab some... Oh, man. Let's grab one of each. That way I can say we've got some of both. There we go. One of each I shall give you. We get the improved stats, and then that army will be plenty big. I probably didn't even need those, to be honest, like, just depending on what we come up against. Let's go ahead and take our revenge on the Aizu's Navy, and that's where I'm going to leave that episode, so I will end the episode in the battle. See you all there. They've got double the forces here, too, so we want to attack the frigate first. It won't matter. Let's just go ahead and run the attack here on the frigate. Okay, looking for a little vengeance for the sailors that I lost previously. I've got my Kotetsu class ship here. You can see that it's got a front gun that allows me to basically face the enemy and fire from long range, and it's going to go ahead and open fire. So I will be able to force the enemy forward, and their first ship that is coming to face me is their frigate. This is a good opportunity for me. You can see I've set up my my Kasuga and my armored frigate now. Again, all of these are clad in iron armor now, so they are armored frigates and an armored Kasuga. I'm going to get first volleys from long range and do pretty tremendous damage to the enemy frigate prior to it really being able to get into position. And this ship had not repaired from our previous battle either, so it had some light damage. The previous battle. Now it's going to open fire. Again, I've got the advantage now of having armor. I do not know if the enemy possesses armor-piercing shells, but I just put a explosive shell right into the middle of their ship with my Kotetsu. And let's go get you all a view of that, let you see my armored ship. So you saw the Ironclad. This is my armored Kasuga, so it is visually different. You can see the armor plating along the hull. And the enemy frigate is under heavy fire and explodes in the distance in a beautiful display. Like, I swear, the explosions on this game look just about as good as some of the new games. That is... And look at the smoke plume back here. That is beautiful. CA, please bring this back. I don't understand. Like, please bring it back. Anyway, my Kotetsu is going to motor on and try and get in range of the enemy Kasuga class, which is way back in the distance. You can see that their boats differ because they do not have the armor upgrade, so you can see that it's still just a wooden hull here on their boat, so it gives me a significant resistance to fire that they do not have with that armor. So here you can see the enemy frigate sinking. Quite the beautiful display. And then its crew over here drowning. Those who survived the explosion now get to drown in the Sea of Japan here. Looks very pleasant. You guys are no doubt enjoying life. Yeah, the Kotetsu has extreme range. I remembered partway through this battle, and then I started using it. You can manually fire the cannon on the front of the Kotetsu. I think you can manually fire the other ships as well. And it gives you an extended range, because I think you can actually fire it from beyond range. And I need to unlock armor-piercing shells at some point, because the armor-piercing shells do have longer range, and then it would give me some help if we do run into any enemy ironclads, which is possible. Because we're quite late into the campaign, and the AI may have considerable technology at its disposal. Here we are steaming forward, and my Kotetsu should already be in range, but it kind of counts this ship still in the range, so it somewhat kind of blocked my ship from firing at will, and so I'm starting to try and click an attack order and get the Kotetsu to open fire. But our boat, the hull is not a huge risk here for this standard shot, but I mean, still, you don't like taking hits for free. So at this point, I believe I turned on the manual firing and decided to start firing my Kotetsu manually because I could not get it to return fire. Yep, there's a shell up. It was a hit. So some of my shots starting to fire, starting to hit, and then I'm going to try and get my my Corvette and my frigate into range. Yeah, there was an explosive shell. Very near miss there. So the enemy Kasuga is getting a lot of shots on the Kotetsu, but if I show you, I mean, we're taking very little hull damage. I did take some gun damage, unfortunately, but very little hull damage. I don't even know how we took the gun damage, to be honest, because I'm facing forward, and my forward gun isn't the one that got damaged, so I'm a little confused here. That would even be possible. You can see that the Kasuga is going to open fire. My frigate is also going to open fire here. None of them are using the armor or the explosive shells, though, because of the extreme range. I think my Kasuga is the only one firing explosive shells at the moment, though I will get my Kasuga flipped over here quite quickly. You can see that there was some explosive shot there, and the enemy Kasuga is already on fire, taking brutal shots from the frigates. There was a massive explosive volley. The ship catches fire, somehow not exploding, but very near to that. See the enemy not in good shape, and they surrender.